Give me 1 second, you guys.
In-flight meals on fine China person.com
Just give
slash
it
murder
like
minute
20 seconds, you
and
guys.
use the code murder minute.
Just give it a second, you guys. Okay, so today we're going to be... Okay, before I get into the video, I'm sorry that I haven't made a video for a while on crimes committed, but I hope you guys liked today's video and subscribe to this channel, and let's get into the video. Like I said, it's the story of United Airlines Flight 629. Alright guys, here we go.
Welcome back. Air travel in the 1950s was much different than what we're used to today. In that era, the main cabin of a plane held about 18 passengers, so there was plenty of room to spread out and stretch your legs. Flight attendants served in-flight meals on fine china plates with proper cutlery, and passengers could even sleep in seats that converted into beds. Planes came with fully stocked bars, and passengers could drink, smoke cigarettes, and relax in lounge areas in the cabin. Also, there was no TSA, and airport security was virtually non-existent, so you could arrive at the airport 30 minutes before takeoff and easily make your flight. Another major difference? In the 1950s, you could purchase air travel insurance from a vending machine in the airport. These policies typically cost about $2.50 payable in quarters and provided up to $62,500 in coverage. The vending machines were widely available in both large and small airports around the country. This golden age of travel was also fraught with danger. It was not uncommon for a half a dozen plane crashes every year, usually resulting in the deaths of everyone on board. One such doomed flight was United Airlines Flight 629. This was a route that originated from New York's LaGuardia Airport on November 1st, 1955. After a planned stop in Chicago, the flight continued on to Denver, where it was refueled and the crew was replaced. At 6:52 p.m. local time, the plane took off from Denver, bound for its next stop in Portland, but just 11 minutes later, Flight 629 crashed over Longmont, Colorado, claiming the lives of all 44 souls on board. Ground searchers who reached the crash site determined that all the passengers and crew aboard the aircraft had died instantly. The debris from the accident was scattered across 6 square miles. Eyewitnesses in the area consistently mentioned a fiery explosion in the air, with flames streaming down, and then a second explosion on impact. The plane's wreckage burned for days after the crash. After examining the debris field, investigators determined that the plane crash was not caused by structural or mechanical defects, and a criminal investigation began. One of the things investigators looked at was to see who among the passengers carried flight insurance, and they found that 17 of the 39 passengers on board had purchased policies. One of those passengers was a woman named Daisy King, who was traveling to Alaska to visit her daughter. The beneficiary of her policy? Her son Jack. Jack Gilbert Graham was born at the height of the Great Depression. His father died of pneumonia in 1937 when Jack was just a small child. His mother was too poor to care for him and sent him to live in an orphanage. In 1941, Daisy remarried, this time to a man named Earl King. Tragically, her new husband died a short time later. Daisy received a substantial inheritance after his death, which she used to become a successful businesswoman. Though her financial situation changed, she did not collect her son from the orphanage. They remained estranged until Jack was 22 years old, and even after their reconciliation, people described their relationship as tense. Earlier in 1955, a restaurant that was owned by Daisy King had been destroyed in a suspicious explosion. Jack Gilbert Graham was the manager of that restaurant, and he had insured the business and collected a large insurance payout after the explosion. Additionally, Jack Gilbert Graham had a criminal record for check forgery and illegally transporting whiskey, for which he had served a brief prison sentence in Texas. Jack stood to gain $37,500 in insurance proceeds from his mother's death, which would be more than $350,000 in the present day. As investigators pieced together what had happened that day, they were able to determine that explosives had been used to bring down Flight 629, and that those explosives had been in the baggage compartment. It turned out that Jack had placed a wrapped Christmas gift in his mother's suitcase just before she departed for her trip. Inside the neatly wrapped box, he placed 25 sticks of dynamite, set with a 90-minute timer to detonate the homemade bomb. When police confronted Jack with the mountain of evidence against him, he confessed to blowing up United Flight 629 for the purpose of collecting insurance money after his mother's death. Back in 1955, there were no laws on the books, making blowing up an airplane a crime. So, the district attorney tried to take the simplest and most efficient route to a conviction. He charged Jack Gilbert Graham with a single count of premeditated murder, the murder of his mother, Daisy King. At the close of the 15-day televised trial, jurors deliberated for just 69 minutes before returning their verdict. They found Jack Gilbert Graham guilty and recommended the death penalty. It was less than a year between his sentencing and his death in the gas chamber at the Colorado State Penitentiary. He was just 24 years old at the time of his execution. Jack's wife was able to collect on an insurance policy after her husband's execution, which was valued at $10,000, almost $90,000 in today's value. That was this week's Murder Minute.
Okay, guys, so like I said at the beginning, sorry for not making a video for a while. I hope you like the story, and I hope to see you guys on another one. And like, subscribe, click the bell icon so you never miss a upload. And see you next time on Crimes Committed.